Picture a room just absolutely packed with the most powerful corporate directors, CEOs, technology policymakers in the country.
Right, a real heavy-hitting crowd.
Exactly. They are all gathered to discuss the absolute cutting edge of artificial intelligence. And now, picture the keynote speaker stepping up to the podium to deliver the closing remarks. It's a Buddhist monk.
It is such a striking image. I mean, you have the ultimate representatives of modern, profit-driven corporate governance being addressed by a master of ancient philosophy.
It really is. So, welcome to this deep dive. Today, we are exploring a truly unique set of sources for you. We have a translated transcript and a highly detailed slide deck from a keynote address.
Right, from July 21, 2026.
Yes, at the National Director Conference in Bangkok. The speaker is Fra Anil Sakya, and his mission here is to explore the intersection of artificial intelligence and human wisdom.
Which is a huge topic.
Huge. But he takes this massive, overwhelming topic and just flips the entire script. The fundamental question he poses to these top executives isn't, how smart will AI get?
Because we already know it's going to get incredibly powerful.
Exactly. The real question he asks them is, do humans actually have the wisdom to handle it?
And that framing changes everything. We spend so much time debating the limits of machine intelligence, but we rarely interrogate the limits of the human minds deploying those machines.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because before the keynote delves into the high-level Buddhist philosophy, it grounds us in some pretty harsh real-world realities.
Yeah, it looks at what actually happens when we blindly trust this technology to operate without human wisdom.
Right.
We have to establish a baseline understanding that AI, as it exists right now today, is entirely amoral. People have this tendency to anthropomorphize algorithms.
Oh, for sure. We give them names and personalities.
Exactly. We want to believe that because a machine can process language, it somehow understands ethics or morality. The keynote uses a couple of high-profile industry failures to demonstrate why that assumption is so incredibly dangerous.
And we're all familiar with these headline-grabbing AI failures, but the presentation really zeroes in on the underlying mechanisms of why they happen. Take, for example, the major U.S. tech company that tried to use AI to filter job applicants.
Right, the hiring algorithm.
Yeah. The goal was purely about efficiency, right? Saving the HR department thousands of hours by automatically identifying top candidates. But the AI ended up automatically excluding women from the hiring process.
And the crucial takeaway there isn't just that the AI failed, it's why it failed.
Exactly.
The AI didn't possess any inherent malice or, prejudice. It simply looked at the company's historical hiring data.
Which was probably overwhelmingly male.
Precisely. It identified that the vast majority of successful past candidates were men, and it optimized for that pattern. It held a mirror up to the company's existing biases and just scaled them with ruthless efficiency.
It's just wild. And it's the exact same dynamic at play in the keynote highlights. This one involves a law firm that used AI to help prepare court documents.
Oh, this one is rough.
It really is. The lawyer just assumed the AI was functioning like a high-tech encyclopedia. The machine cited several previous court cases to support their legal argument, and the lawyer blindly trusted the output, submitted it to the judge, and then discovered in open court that the AI had completely hallucinated those cases.
They didn't even exist.
They didn't exist. The machine just strung together legal-sounding words into a plausible-sounding lie. And it led to severe court sanctions and basically destroyed the reputation of that firm.
Both of those scenarios prove a singular point, which is that AI has no conscience. It has no intention and absolutely no sense of responsibility.
Not at all.
Right. When an AI system discriminates, or when it lies or causes harm, the blame never rests on the code. The liability always rests entirely on the human who designed it, approved it, or implemented it without proper oversight.
It makes me think of it this way. Using AI is like hiring a super-powered, hyper-efficient intern who literally has no moral compass.
That is a great way to put it.
It will optimize for whatever goal you give it, even if it means doing something terrible, simply because it doesn't know any better.
That captures the dynamic perfectly. The algorithm is just optimizing a mathematical function. If you tell your superpowered intern to, say, maximize user engagement on a social platform,
right,
and the intern discovers that outrage and anger keep people clicking, it will flood the platform with enraging content. It doesn't understand the societal damage. I mean, it only understands that the engagement number went up.
So if AI lacks a moral compass, the responsibility falls completely on humans. We are the ones who have to supply the wisdom and the oversight.
Yes.
But this leads to a realization in the keynote that I found genuinely chilling. What if our constant everyday interaction with technology is actually eroding the very humanity and wisdom we need to govern it?
It's a scary thought. We are placing the entire burden of governing AI on human empathy and critical thinking while simultaneously engaging in behaviors that diminish those exact traits.
And the keynote tells a really striking anecdote to illustrate this. There was a young man in his 20s who ordained as a monk at Wat Bhawaniwet Vihara.
Which is a very significant temple.
Right. And entering a monastery is supposed to be this time of deep reflection, a deliberate disconnection from the material world to really focus on the mind. But this young man arrived utterly addicted to his phone.
His dependency was so profound that he couldn't disconnect even during teachings.
He was just scrolling the whole time.
He was constantly looking at his screen.
Yeah.
And when his elders gently reprimanded him and, asked him to put the device away, he didn't respond with monastic humility. He lashed out.
Wow.
Yeah, he had severe emotional outbursts. He exhibited extreme disrespect, and he aggressively argued with his teachers.
The situation escalated so rapidly that his mother had to rush to the temple to try and intervene. And his reaction was so volatile, and the whole ordeal was so intense that the resulting stress actually put his mother in the hospital.
That is just heartbreaking.
It is. The young man ended up leaving the monkhood after just 7 days. But the comment his mother made to the head monk afterward really lingers. She said, "He's been with computers and phones all his life, hardly meeting people."
It serves as a tragic microcosm of a much broader psychological epidemic. The text dives into several psychological phenomena that have become entirely normalized in our culture now. Take phubbing, for instance.
Phubbing.
Yeah, it's the act of ignoring the person sitting right in front of you in favor of your phone. We treat it like a minor annoyance, but it's really a fundamental breakdown of human attention and respect.
The presentation also explores parasocial interaction. This is where people start replacing real, messy, complicated human relationships with virtual ones.
We see that everywhere now.
We really do, and we're seeing this accelerate so much with AI companions. It's so much easier to interact with an AI that perfectly tailors its personality to agree with you. It never challenges you.
It never requires compromise.
Exactly, and it never demands the emotional labor that a real, actual friendship does.
And if you follow that path to its logical extreme, you arrive at a condition known as hikikomori, which the text mentions.
Right.
It's a phenomenon originally identified in Japan, characterized by total, prolonged social isolation. An individual completely withdraws from society for months or even years, interacting only through screens.
I have to admit, for you listening, it is incredibly surprising to hear a keynote at a high-level corporate technology conference center so heavily on concepts like a digital detox and the fundamental biological need for human connection.
It's definitely not the usual fare.
Not at all. You usually expect these discussions to revolve around data bandwidth, processing chips, market capitalization, not the erosion of the human soul.
What's fascinating here is that historically, human tools have never diminished human value. Think about the progression of civilization.
Oh.
Stone axe, the printing press, the steam engine, the early computer.
Right, they made us more capable.
Exactly. These inventions always elevated human roles. We transitioned from being manual laborers to being machine operators, and eventually to being system designers. The tool itself is never the enemy.
So if the tool isn't the problem, what makes this moment in history different?
The danger today isn't that AI is too smart or too capable. The true danger is that human fear and human screen dependency are growing at a faster rate than our wisdom.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
We are simultaneously terrified of what AI might do to our jobs, yet we are isolating ourselves with these devices, losing the interpersonal resilience and emotional intelligence we need to manage the transition.
So to overcome that fear, and to ensure we actually use AI to elevate human value, just like we did with the steam engine, the keynote argues we have to redefine what we even mean by the word intelligence.
Yes.
Because in the corporate world, we are wildly conflating raw processing power with actual wisdom.
The speaker introduces a beautiful linguistic nuance to clarify this. In Thai, the words for cleverness and wisdom are often used interchangeably in casual, everyday conversation. But in the context of Buddhism, they represent completely different cognitive states. Cleverness is merely computation. It's the ability to solve a puzzle or maximize a metric. True wisdom, however, requires a concept called sati.
Sati translates to mindfulness, right? But how does that apply to intelligence?
In this framework, Mindfulness isn't just about, breathing exercises. It's the cognitive ability to pause and interrogate your own motivations. It's checking if your actions or the algorithms you are deploying are being driven by greed, by anger, or by delusion.
Wow.
Cleverness asks, how do I achieve this goal as fast as possible? Wisdom asks, why am I pursuing this goal, and what are the secondary consequences?
That distinction naturally leads into the three distinct levels of intelligence the speaker outlines. This is a brilliant mental model to apply to your own workflow. The first level is artificial intelligence, or AI.
The baseline.
Right. This is purely computational. It answers the question, how do we do it? As we've discussed, it's incredibly fast, it processes massive data sets flawlessly, but it is completely blind to human impact.
The second tier is human intelligence, or HI. This is the realm of creativity and intuition.
Where we naturally thrive.
Exactly. Humans can navigate ambiguity. We can invent concepts that have no historical data to draw from. Human intelligence answers the question, what is the best way to do it?
And most corporate strategies stop right there. They try to combine AI's speed with human creativity and just call it a day. But the keynote argues that human intelligence isn't enough anymore. A highly clever, highly creative human can still use their intelligence to exploit people or damage the environment. We need to reach the third tier, which is awakened intelligence, or WI.
Awakened intelligence is the ability to see the objective truth of a situation and act with profound compassion. It introduces the necessary friction to the process by stopping to ask, should we do it? And who actually benefits from this being done?
To understand why a machine can never reach that third tier, the speaker breaks down human wisdom into 4 specific dimensions that AI entirely lacks. Let's walk through how these play out in the real world.
Let's do it.
The first is ethical wisdom. An AI can analyze a global supply chain and find the absolute most profitable shipping route. But it cannot tell you if that route relies on exploitative labor practices.
The second dimension is empathetic wisdom. Consider a healthcare scenario. An AI system can analyze biometric data and correctly diagnose a terminal illness with more accuracy than a human doctor.
Which is incredible.
It is. But the AI cannot sit in a room, read the emotional state of a terrified patient, and hold their hand. It cannot offer comfort to a grieving family. Empathy isn't just the exchange of data. It is a shared vulnerability, a uniquely human experience.
Then there is contextual wisdom. AI operates best in black and white environments governed by strict rules. But human culture, timing, political nuance, relationships, these are entirely gray areas. AI constantly misses the subtle, unwritten rules of human context.
And the final dimension is accountable wisdom. This ties back to our earlier point about the hallucinating lawyer.
Right, the fake court cases.
Exactly. When an AI makes a catastrophic error, it feels no guilt, it pays no fine, it serves no prison sentence. Accountability cannot be coded. It must be borne by a human.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Because if we look closely at that third tier, awakened intelligence, it fundamentally relies on pausing. It requires leaders to stop and ask, should we do this?
Yes.
But consider the modern tech industry, or honestly any modern corporate boardroom. For the last 20 years, the ultimate mantra of Silicon Valley has been move fast and break things. Doesn't the concept of awakened intelligence fundamentally contradict the core operating system of the modern business world?
This raises an important question, and it strikes at the very heart of why a Buddhist monk is addressing these directors. Yes, it completely contradicts the move fast and break things model, and that is entirely the point of the keynote. Awakened intelligence is exactly what 21st century organizations need most, specifically because we need to survive the collateral damage caused by moving too fast.
I mean, we've broken enough things.
We have broken social discourse, we have fragmented attention spans, and we have created massive anxiety. The presentation posits that the organizations that thrive in the future won't necessarily be the ones with the fastest, most aggressive AI implementation. The winners will be the organizations that possess the wisdom to know when to pump the brakes.
I hear that, but how does a board of directors actually put that into practice? It's one thing to discuss awakened intelligence in a philosophical sense, but these executives need a tangible plan.
They need action items.
Right. Thankfully, the keynote delivers a concrete, actionable framework for governing AI, rooted in an ancient Buddhist concept known as the Four Powers, or Bala 4.
They do a remarkable synthesis of ancient theology and modern governance. The first of the four powers is the power of computing, which the speaker redefines as authentic intelligence.
Authentic intelligence.
Yes. In an ecosystem where we are drowning in AI-generated answers, synthetic media, and optimized content, Humans must step up as the ultimate arbiters of truth. We have to be the ones choosing which data to trust, and more importantly, we must be the ones asking the right questions.
The text sparked a very clear image for me on this point. Relying on AI without cultivating your own authentic intelligence is literally like driving a high-speed sports car while completely blindfolded.
No, it's terrifying.
Right. You have this massive roaring engine that's the AI processing power, but your own critical thinking, your ability to vet the data, that is the windshield. If you cover your eyes and just trust the engine, you might be moving incredibly fast, but you are accelerating toward a guaranteed crash. You have to take the blindfold off and look at the road.
That analogy perfectly isolates the mechanics of the first power. The second power turns inward. It's the power of cultivation, or inner ecology. This asserts that before you can govern an algorithm, you have to govern your own mind. It demands human learning, but even more crucially, human unlearning.
What does that unlearning actually look like in a corporate setting?
It means letting go of outdated, ego-driven leadership styles. If a CEO is operating from a place of intense ego or a fear of missing out on the latest tech trend, they will blindly purchase AI tools just to look like a visionary to their shareholders.
Which happens all the time.
All the time. Governing inner ecology means recognizing that impulse, practicing sati, mindfulness, and pausing to balance the drive for success with wisdom and compassion for how the technology will actually impact the workforce.
Which flows directly into the third power, the power of blamelessness or ethical governance. Since we've established that the AI itself is entirely immoral, the board of directors must fundamentally change how they view oversight.
They can't just review financial audits anymore.
No, they have to demand that their AI frameworks are entirely transparent, continuously auditable, and proven to do absolutely no harm to stakeholders. The algorithm made a mistake is no longer an acceptable legal or ethical defense.
And that leads to the final power, the ultimate goal of all this, the power integration or compassion. The keynote emphasizes that AI should never be deployed solely to discard human workers and cut costs. Its purpose should be to create what the speaker calls augmented humanity.
I love that phrase, augmented humanity.
The mechanism here is simple but profound. You use the machine to automate the dull, repetitive computational tasks. But you don't do that to fire the employee.
Right.
You do it to free up the employee's time and cognitive load, allowing them to focus entirely on what only humans can do. Deep creativity, nuanced problem solving, and genuine care.
Exactly.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you start to realize that navigating this era of massive technological turbulence is literally impossible if the minds of the leaders driving the change are chaotic.
Let's take that a step further. If a board of directors is operating out of pure greed, the AI will systematically identify the most efficient ways to exploit resources to feed that greed. The technology doesn't diminish human value. It acts as a massive megaphone for whatever our internal state is.
AI is the ultimate multiplier. Whatever the internal ecology of an organization is, whether it's toxic and fearful or mindful and compassionate, the AI will scale that culture exponentially.
So what does this all mean for you? Whether you are a corporate director sitting on a board making decisions that affect thousands of employees, or you're just someone trying to manage your own personal workflow with these new generative tools, the ultimate message of the keynote is crystal clear. Handing the steering wheel completely over to a machine is an abdication of your fundamental human responsibility.
Toward the end of the presentation, the speaker quotes the famous media theorist Marshall McLuhan, who famously noted, "We shape our tools, and thereafter our tools shape us."
But Fra Neil Sakya adds a vital philosophical addition to that famous quote. He states, "The one who shapes the tools is the one who has trained their mind." If our minds are scattered, greedy, or fearful, the AI will amplify that darkness. But if our minds are mindful, the AI will amplify our compassion and our capacity to solve real systemic problems.
He closes by referencing a beautiful Buddhist proverb, "Wisdom is the light of the world." We spend our days bathed in the blue light of our screens, endlessly consuming data. But what we desperately need is the light of wisdom. We need it not just to see what can be done technologically, but to illuminate what should be done ethically.
It is the profound difference between being incredibly clever and being truly awake. But I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over, building on everything we've explored today about the intersection of screens, human isolation, and artificial intelligence. Let's say society actually gets this right.
A best-case scenario.
Exactly. Let's say we successfully implement augmented humanity. We use AI to effortlessly handle all of our repetitive tasks, all the massive data processing, all the complex logistical problem solving. And as a result, we leave ourselves with only the purely human tasks. The deep empathy, the complex interpersonal connection, the nuanced ethical reasoning. If we have spent the last few decades letting our screens socially isolate us, conditioning our brains for instant gratification and frictionless interactions, are we actually in danger of discovering that we've forgotten how to do those human things too? When the calculator is finally put away, will we still remember how to count?